He suffered a broken bone in the preseason, and it is still bothering him. You're looking at the new coach who took over from Bill Johnson. This is Homer Rice, former coach and athletic director at Rice University, and he is now in charge of the Bengals, who are trying to regain a little respectability. And again, they have top-notch football players, so if Oakland happens to be looking beyond them, they could be in trouble tonight. Chris Barr will kick off for the Bengals, the Oakland Raiders having won the toss. And dropping deep for the Oakland Raiders is number 23. That's Harold Hart. Harold Hart back there with an outstanding young rookie from SMU. 22, Arthur Whittington. He's not big, but he's got a whole bunch of heart, and the Raiders are really high on this youngster. They have to be because they injuries, and we are underway from Cincinnati. And Barr really pops one. That's taken by Whittington. He bobbles it. He'll have to bring it out. Oh, Arthur. Bobbled the ball. Got him in trouble. He goes out of bounds down around the 7-yard line. Hustling down there. Linville. Let's take a look at the offense. Kenny Stabler, we told you a little bit about him. Art Whittington will open at one setback, number 22. Mark Van Eegen, number 30. Flag has been dropped on the kickoff as we continue to look at the offensive line. There they are. Changed dramatically over in the right side. Beeler is gone, as is John Fella for the Oakland Raiders. Give you the wide receivers in a moment. Pat Haggerty will give us the call.
Number 56 on the run back.
Now in the very first play, things have been compounded for the Oakland Raiders. They get the clipping call, the ball inside their 4-yard line. Morris Bradshaw, one wide receiver, number 81. Cliff Branch, the other, number 21. The tight end, everybody's all-pro, Dave Casper, number 87. And now they bring Raymond Chester in their short yardage offense, of course, down around the 4-yard line. They're going to be very careful. Van Eegen goes down in the arms of Eddie Edwards. And he just does get to the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 2nd and 10. Let's take a look at the defense for the Cincinnati Bengals. They're young. Gary Burley, Wilson Whitley, Eddie Edwards, they're both in their 2nd year. Ross Browner will be in there tonight. He had surgery earlier in the year. We'll tell you about that. You saw the linebackers, and there is a secondary dramatically changed, as is the Oakland Raiders from last year. 2nd down and 10, the ball resting right at the 4-yard line. Frank Gifford along Howard Cosell and Don Meredith, Riverfront Stadium, Los Angeles last night. Interesting trip. Stabler from his own end zone. Looks for Cliff Branch. It's almost picked off. Covering back there, Louis Braden. And Stabler has been troubled in the past and with the interceptions. He had a lot of them deflected earlier in the year. Let's take a look at the ISO.
He tried to drop it over that linebacker's head in the zone there, Frank, that middle area, and he just was not a very good pass. And you're Breeden almost got right there to it. Ball was dumped in there and didn't quite make it. Cliff Branch didn't get there.
John Madden was concerned about a rather tentative move on the part of Cliff Branch. Left Breeden right with him. On 3rd down, Whittington, a tough little youngster from SMU, gets at least some punting room for the Oakland Raiders, but it should provide good field position for Cincinnati. Eddie Edwards over there for the stop once again.
That's twice Edwards has been in the play. Frank said once again. That was the 2nd time, and just 3 plays from scrimmage. He, of course, goes against the veteran Gene Upshaw tonight, so he's got a big job ahead of him. He thinks he's ready. He was a #1 draft choice. They have another #1 draft choice in that defensive line. Whitley, we're ready for the punt.
And it'll be Ray Guy kicking to number 83, Dennis Law for Cincinnati, positioned at his own 40-yard line. That's a long way, but then Ray Guy can kick it a long way, averaging over 54 yards a punt last week. 3rd in the AFC, and he kicks it long and high, and he is hit a beauty. It takes Dennis Law back to his 32-yard line. Looking for the picket, and he's not going to get it. He is dropped all the way back at the 23, and that's what a great kicker can do for you. Get you out of a lot of trouble.
And that's what a rookie can do for you before we set the offense. Dennis Law running backwards rather than frontwards. Critical mistake.
Kenny Anderson, we told you about his troubles with the right hand, the passing arm. The setbacks, Dave Turner, a rookie from San Diego State, Bakersfield Junior College. He's outstanding. Had a big game last week. Pete Johnson's in there, the big fullback from Ohio State. Billy Brooks, 1 wide receiver, number 82. Isaac Curtis, 85. He saw the offensive line. The tight end, number 84, Don Bass, another rookie from Houston, set to go. 23-yard line. Anderson tosses quickly to Dave Turner. And Turner runs into number 42. That's Monty Jackson coming up from the cornerback position. Now let's take a look at that defense. It'll be a little different than you might suspect. Phil Yaw is starting a defensive right end instead of the rookie from Washington, Dave Browning. That's the front three. They, of course, play that 3-4. Those are your 4 linebackers. Monty Johnson is not starting tonight. Rod Martin's in there in place of him. And the secondary. Holsey is starting in place of an injured Jack Tatum suffering from a sore ankle. A loss of a couple is second down and 12 for Cincinnati. Turner again on the draw. And Turner does a little bit on his own. He gets out over the 25 to the 26. It'll be third down and 6.
If you wonder why Dave Turner, called Deacon, is in there, it's A, because he's a fine-looking rookie running back from San Diego State. B, he beat out Archie Griffin. In just plain, simple terms, he beat out Archie Griffin for the job. Archie, of course, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. And to show you the nature of the youth on this Cincinnati team, they have 12 rookies on the roster.
Turner with 116 yards last week. A couple of big plays he's broken off in the past couple of weeks. And I think you saw the offsides as Anderson going to Billy Brooks. Good coverage. Oakland. Anderson overthrows incomplete.
Looked like me they had too many receivers in the same spot, Frank. They were trying to flood out this area, but they brought Ted Hendricks with them. And Villapiano, you saw an offside penalty against Oakland, which Cincinnati sure could use about right now.
And they'll get the opportunity again with the 5-yard penalty. The down will remain the same, third down. Billy Brooks, 23 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Most of those coming after Anderson's back. Here's
Raiders are penalized. Number 72, defense.
And, of course, Isaac Curtis, the other wide receiver. We'll tell you this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Third down 2. The ball at the 31-yard line for Cincinnati. Anderson puts both backs into the pattern. Fires out to Turner. And Turner has the first down out of the 39-yard line, taken there by Lester Hayes. First down, Cincinnati. The 1-9 team. We mentioned at the top of the show, Don said that they beat Houston 2 weeks ago. They beat them decisively, too. Houston, of course, coming off a win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's an up-and-down young football team. All resting right at the 39-yard line. And it's Turner. He's the workhorse, and Turner goes down, buried there by the big defensive end, number 72, John Matuzak.
Villapiano sure came up well that time, Frank, from his outside linebacker position, and he met Pete Johnson right head on. Knocked down the interference and left it all up to that running back.
Sweet-looking fella.
John Matuzak.
And you put all that hair on 6'7" and 275 pounds, he'll get your attention. Second down 10. Isaac Curtis split to the left. Brooks to the right. 2 blazing fast outside men. Going for Curtis deep.
Got him. Overthrew it.
And he just overthrew. Lester Hayes back there covering, but Curtis had sped by him. Of course, he runs by most defenders. He has that true 9.4 speed. He can really roar.
Now, in the ring machine.
And out comes Rod Martin, linebacker. Third and 10. A lot of time for Anderson, and going for Dave Turner, number 22, overthrown. And the reason why, Willie Hall, number 39, the inside linebacker for the Raiders, had positioned himself well, and now Cincinnati must punt. And it'll be Pat McAnally. First in the American Football Conference. You're watching 2 of the finest punters in the game tonight. McAnally for Cincinnati, and Ray Guy, of course, for Oakland. There is Neil Colsey, single safety for the Raiders. Not having one of his better years, a little over a 7-yard average per return. McAnally, and he does not get a good kick. This will be Colsey from his 27-yard line. and runs right into the pack out of the 34-yard line, where Oakland will have a little better field position than on their first possession, 30 yards plus. We'll be back in just a moment. About the Bengals, they've had a lot of number 1 draft picks, most of them coming when they sent Bill Bergey to Philadelphia. They have built almost an entire football team out of the results of that. Oakland, field possession, 34-yard line. No score if you just joined us. We're in Cincinnati. The Raiders have the football at 1st and 10. Van Egan tries the left side, gets a couple of yards out to the 37. Give him 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
They even got the Philadelphia coach in that deal. Mike McCormick's over here now. Pretty good idea. Mike's a good man.
Which may be a reason why he's over here now.
Yeah, that's possible. It really is. Just looking at that defensive line we were talking about in the commercial break, you got 2 Outland Trophy winners as outstanding linemen in the country in the same defensive line. They're both really young, Browner and Whitley. That doesn't happen too often.
On 2nd and 7. Stabler. Leaking out of the backfield is Van Egan, and Van Egan has a first down at midfield and to the 48-yard line, where he's upended by Louis Breeden. First down, Oakland.
Neither one of them got close to Stabler that time, however, and he had plenty of time to throw. When he slips out, that Van Egan just slips out. We'll take a look at it again. Many times we've talked about the offensive line that Kenny throws behind, and one of the things that I think we mentioned in one of their telecasts is a lot of their pass patterns are designed to go for the quarterback to be able to hold that ball for over 4 seconds. Not many clubs can afford that luxury. First down.
Whittington. Out there. And a good defensive play is Gary Burley, the defensive left end. The oldest member of that front 4 of the Bengals. He's been around 3 years. Whitley a couple, Edwards a couple. We've told you about them. Ross Browner, of course, the great rookie from Notre Dame.
Burley and Whitley are the key to Cincinnati's hopes for success tonight. Cincinnati desperately needs a pass rush. They missed Coy Bacon, traded away for a number of other reasons. And Marvin and Lawrence have to keep those men out, the young ones on the Oakland offensive line.
On 2nd down, 13. Whittington out of the backfield. Gets away from 1 tackler, number 55, LeClaire, and finally dropped by Reggie Williams. He gets 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Well, we don't have to tell you about that man. Number 85 quickly became All-Pro out of San Diego State. Sensational wide receiver, and not accustomed to being part of a team with a 1-9 record. Accustomed instead to being up among the leaders in receptions and touchdown catches, and to be fighting for the playoffs.
Another great receiver has come onto the field, as he has been doing this season, and this is his 14th season. Fred Biletnikoff, number 25, bottom of your screen. The tight end remains in, Dave Casper, so it's Cliff Branch, Biletnikoff, and Morris Bradshaw. Stabler goes with the pass, and he gets the blitz. It's number 53. That's Bo Harris, who just played his first game a couple of weeks ago against Houston, coming off preseason knee surgery, and he's another one they've missed, Howard.
That's right. He is one of the key reasons for the slow start of the Bengals. Slow start. It's been worse than that. As you look at this in replay, and you see Bo blitzing in, getting Stabler from the blind side. Bo Harris, I think, is their most efficient linebacker.
You saw a safety blitz. That was Scott Perry that came up. What they really did, they just occupied all the blockers he had, and Bo Harris was able to come around the outside. He does have the good speed.
There's Dennis Law. Ray Guy kicked the ball 59 yards on his last attempt from the end zone. Dennis Law, single safety. Guy kicks one low. Law takes it at the 12. And a good hustling special team unit of the Oakland Raiders drops Law back around the 17-yard line, heading the rush downfield Huddleston. We'll be back in Cincinnati in a moment.
Omar and Mason. Here's a 5-for-1 swap.
1st and 10. Cincinnati, we have no score. They begin at their 17-yard line. Here's Turner. And Dave Turner goes over the right side, out close to the 20-yard line for a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Rod Martin in on that stop, filling in for the injured Monty Johnson, inside linebacker. This young man at Bakersfield Junior College, in 2 years, rushed for 3,026 yards. And if you know Bakersfield Junior College, California Junior College football, you know it's pretty tough.
Tell us about Bakersfield, Frank.
Well, it's about 7 Mount Vernons.
Okay.
2nd down and 7.
7.
Looking for Curtis. An absolute time pass, and it's good for a first down.
Oh, that was a heck of a catch.
Never see one better than that.
Hey, yeah, that was nice move by Curtis. The ball was really out there, a little bit low, but Curtis came back. Some guys are afraid to get their knees dirty. You know, they don't like to get in there after those saves.
This is why we showed Isaacs a couple of minutes ago. Anticipation.
Anticipation. Now, that was good. Just got his hands down there, didn't get his knees dirty at all. Didn't hurt, but just a little bit. Coming back in there again. He's working on a man-to-man. He's got Monty Jackson.
Jackson slipped.
Well, yep, and Jackson really had pretty good position.
The first down is at the 36-yard line. Dave Turner. Oh, and Dave Turner has a violent collision with Rod Martin.
Villapiano once again kind of chewed up that lead interference by Pete Johnson coming out there. Villapiano was up first, opened up, and then comes Martin.
There he is in his second year out of SC, a 12th round draft pick a year ago. They released him, as a matter of fact, a year ago. Went over to the 49ers, they released him, and Oakland brought him back, and he has really begun to develop.
He likes the Bay Area.
The two old bros. Stabler, Biletnikoff.
2nd and 10. The ball at the 36-yard line. Ball play goes to Pete Johnson, and he bounces off one big defender, Phil Yaw, and surges ahead to about the 37-yard line. A gain of, I'll give him 2.
Transition period in that offensive line. We mentioned in our first Cincinnati game against Miami that Blair Bush has taken over the center spot from Bob Johnson, the original draft choice and all that sort of jazz. But I think, along with the fact that they have so many rookies, that they have been experimenting with some new men in some very key positions, and I've always felt that that center really is. That's the guy that makes that middle go.
Mike McCoy is in the middle of that defense. He wears number 76 for Oakland on 3rd down and 8. Anderson going for Billy Brooks. And a good defensive play, Lester Hayes.
Yes, it was. That was so close.
And Neil Colsey. They were right with Brooks. Anderson must have heard your opening, Don. He is letting it fly tonight.
They really haven't been able to move much, Frank. We've seen them try a few times trying to go into the line. They just haven't been able to do it. Whether it's the offensive line incapacity to move people out, backs have changed a little bit. There's a lot of things that are going on in that offense. But if that doesn't do it, man, and you're 1 and 9, this is a great time to loosen up your arm. Get it going.
4th down, Pat McAnally will punt. Neil Colsey deep, standing at his 25-yard line for Oakland. Kick that will take Colsey back to his 14-yard line. Takes a chance there and steps out right at the 16-yard line. Perry Scott was down there for Cincinnati to make sure. 49-yard punt. We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, there's been an interesting battle between the punchers. First, Guy kicked Oakland into decent field position. Cincinnati poor position. Now McAnally has responded.
Whoops. Whittington slips and gets back to the line of scrimmage. He tried to make a quick cut, and down he went.
Otis Sistrunk.
What would a game with Oakland be without a shot of his head? Unusual is what it would be.
Regards to you, Alex Garris, University of Mars. You and Otis both.
And you had a look at the back of John Madden's head. 2nd and 10. Oakland Raiders, 16-yard line. Whittington again gets the call.
No place to go out there.
This time he pecked along the line of scrimmage, but Bengals were all there. And he'll get about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 9. And of course, Whittington coming off a big game last week of 134 yards. He's not big, 5'11", 180-pounder. But he is a one-tough cookie. They'll all tell you that in the Oakland organization.
They're stopping them pretty well in that run. That's mainly that front four
Sure
up there.
they are.
They're not getting a particularly good pass rush of that front four. They've got it when they blitz.
They're running left behind Shell and Upshaw. Cincinnati is prepared for it. The two kids are on the right side of the line.
3rd down 9. Whittington picks it up on the first bounce and runs into trouble. It's Ross Browner in there along with Reggie Williams, and Oakland will have to punt.
Tried to run right that time.
Yeah.
Well, there's DePasso, and we've said so many times you hate to see that. The right knee.
preliminary report has a sprained knee. You saw him getting the ice treatment to reduce the swelling. Here's Ray Guy on his third punt. The first one 59 yards, the second 42. Deep Dennis Law, and respecting Ray Guy, he's all the way back inside his own 30-yard line, and while Guy's standing inside of his 5. And you see why. Hangs it high and is long. Fair catch called for at the 30-yard line.
He's getting smarter. Getting smarter.
Good field position. They'll begin at the 30-yard line. We have 2:21 remaining in the first quarter. We have no score. We'll be right back. Cincinnati has a 1st and 10 in the ball at their own 30-yard line. A game that, of course, is not taking Cincinnati anywhere, but they like to regain a little respectability. They were an 8-6 team last year, close to the playoffs, in contention to the final game. Oakland, of course, battling Denver in the Western Division of the AFC. On the first down, the flag is dropped and the whistle blown as Turner turns the corner, but the action stopped.
Well, we'll have to see what the call is. It's against the Bengals. You have stated, Don, that you think Anderson should throw that ball and throw that ball. But with what's happened to Oakland this year, I think the statistics are revealing. They have been vulnerable to the rush. They have allowed 39.7 rushes against them per game. They rank 24th in the league in that regard.
Illegal formation. Offense.
So this is a team, obviously, you can run on. I don't know if Bengals have running capacity, but you can run on this team.
First down, 15. Illegal procedure call going against the Bengals. Quick look at Homer Rice on the phone to his assistants upstairs. Ball now back at the 25-yard line. Turner bounces to the right and coughs up the football and picking it up. Colsey, he'll be in the end zone. And an easy, quick 6 for the Oakland Raiders. Turner belted hard. Otis Sistrunk in on the stop. The ball came out with 6 points.
It really did look strange, didn't it? Big stack of bodies out there, and all of a sudden the ball just comes out there to Colsey.
Look at it again. You saw Homer Rice, a quick glance, probably wishing Bill Johnson had stayed in the job.
Yep.
Oh, there it goes. Perfect bounce.
Colsey, the former Ohio State All-American, back in his home state, puts the Raiders on the scoreboard. 32-yard return of the Turner fumble. Earl Mann on for the conversion. Dave Hum, number 11, is the holder for Mann. And the Raiders are out in front, and a flag is down. And the call, I believe, is going to go against Oakland. Pete Banaszak gesturing to the official. I did nothing wrong.
I thought I saw a holding shot.
Going to be a holding walk-off. So Earl Mann will have to give it another shot. Here's the call.
Holding, number 40, offense.
Pete Banaszak holding. The conversion attempt now.
A little more
29 yards.
A little more interesting.
Instead of 7, the holding call puts the Raiders back to 6 over the Cincinnati Bengals. And let's take a look at that again. Earl Mann been around a long time, and we're going to take another quick look at Turner's fumble. He is hit there hard by several Raiders.
Yeah, Willie Hall. I don't know who knocked it loose. He just seemed to drop it.
I think the man from Mars stuck a big ball in there. In any event, Raiders out in front 6-0. Sitting announcement was brought to you as a public service by Jim LeClaire, the Bengals middle linebacker and the National Football League. Set to kick off Ray Guy. He handles the kickoff chores deep. Ray Griffin, and he's flanked by his brother Archie Griffin. But it'll be Ray Griffin from the 1-yard line.
Boom.
And
Boom, boom,
Griffin
boom,
runs
boom.
into a pile of Raiders out of the 18-yard line. Ray Guy can do a lot of things for you. He can also throw the ball out of a punt formation. He'll run it, and he is constantly keeping you out of trouble with the punting. First and 10, Cincinnati. Ball at their 18-yard line, 1:54 to go in the first quarter. Archie Griffin comes in, number 44. following Turner's fumble. He's in there with Pete Johnson. So a pair of Ohio State greats. Pete Johnson, the all-time leading scorer at Ohio State, and the all-time leading scorer in the Big Ten. He wears 46. Griffin wears 45. Brooks is in motion. Anderson wants the air. Fires to the tight end is the rookie from Houston, Don Bass. And Bass gets out to the 24-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Hit there by Rod Martin. And of course, Bass had a great career down the Southwest Conference and has earned the starting role in this his rookie season. On 2nd and 5. The ball at the 24. Anderson again looking for Curtis. A timing pass. Curtis tries to one-hand it. He cannot do so.
Split second. Too early. Little wide.
I think it's interesting he's going with Curtis against Monty Jackson. Monty Jackson, of course, acquired from the Rams, considered to be a lot of people one of the best man-on-man defenders in the league.
One of the 2 or 3 best. There are Jackson, Louis Wright of Denver, and Lamar Parrish, sidelined with an injury. Now with Washington, the man Cincinnati gave up.
I think it's easier for a right-handed passer to throw that sideline to his left. Most quarterbacks kind of fall into habits. That might be one of his.
Pat Toomey is in, number 67, defensively for the Oakland Raiders on 3rd down 5. Anderson again, air. Fires over the middle, and this time Bass does not hold on. They have not indicated it was incomplete, so apparently they said he had possession, and it is a fumble and is recovered by Oakland.
And Colsey he tried to one-hand it. If he had picked it up with 2 hands, he might have had him another one.
Well, we were right about Bass being the open man.
That's right.
Watch this again.
Back across the middle. Well thrown. He's got it.
Oh, sure he had it.
Stripped right there real well by Mike Davis, and Mike gets up. Colsey tried to one-hand it, missed it, and Davis falls on it. Let's just everybody take a look. Blap. Hit that ball.
Oakland, 1st and 10 again. Good field position, 34-yard line. Van Egan over the left side, finding an opening over Art Shell, and Van Egan rambles down to about the 27-yard line.
We're approaching the end of the first quarter. We've got less than 50 seconds left, and so far Cincinnati is playing listlessly and almost indifferently, even as they did when we had them against Miami in a 21-0 rout by the Dolphins.
Gain of 7 by Van Egan. Oakland out in front on Neil Colsey's first professional touchdown. Fumble by Cincinnati's Dave Turner, a 32-yard run. Here comes Van Egan, left side. Van Egan close to a 1st down. Hit there by Glenn Cameron. Stop by Glenn Cameron.
Yes, Kenny.
What a frustrating year for this man. He's
terrible.
Right up there in the top all time for percentage of completions. Holds an NFL record of consecutive completions and highest percentage once he completed 20 out of 22. That's the end of the first quarter. It's Oakland over the Cincinnati Bengals. They lead by 6-0. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this.
That would be your second move.
That's unfair.
Okay, Oakland has a 1st and 10. The ball at the 23-yard line of the Cincinnati Bengals. They lead 6-0, does Oakland. Van Egan gets the call. They're working over Art Shell over the left side. And this time Cincinnati rises up at the 20-yard line. A flag goes down. Flair, I believe, is going to be called for a late hit. At least he kicked the flag.
Well, I saw him earlier lay a real heavy shot in the back of one of his own men. He's been getting there. He's all fired up. Trying to be one of those emotional sort of leaders in that middle linebacker shot.
Let's see what they do here. The worst possible time for LeClaire. Well, they're not going to call him for additional distance.
Composure.
I'm astonished. He really lost his head. Could have cost his team more valuable yardage. Let's listen. Not another conference.
Foul, 55, 1st down.
Tim LeClaire, 3rd round pick.
I don't think he really hit anybody. I think it was his action right after this was over.
Well,
let's see what happens.
You call bulldogging.
What are you talking about, Don?
As a matter of fact, he did hit somebody.
They could have got him twice. First and 10, the ball right at the 10-yard line, and this is Art Whittington. And look at the little man getting inside the 5-yard line.
He really squirted through there. Seemed to have no apparent room, and then, poof, he was through.
Whittington down to the 5-yard line.
Whittington.
Poof, there he was, right through.
Scott Perry, along with a little help from his friends, finally brings Whittington down. Let's take a look at it again. They're working over that left side. Of course, big Art Shell's over there.
And poof, right there he goes through.
It's a great name for an Australian golfer.
Yes, or a Magic Dragon, either one. I don't know.
Warren Bankston comes in. 3 tight ends. Whittington, Van Egan, the setbacks. Play action.
There he is.
He had 2 men.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
He had Raymond Chester. That's his second touchdown since returning for the Oakland Raiders from Baltimore. He could have taken Dave Casper. He was open on the other
He
side.
could have hit Whittington over there, too. But he chose Chester. Raymond Chester.
So Oakland, in just a space of a few minutes, is taking a 12-0 lead.
Little play action fake. Good time to throw. You can see everybody running into one another back there. They said, wait a minute, that's my man. And that's really what happened. They had a little confusion in that line. Bo Harris says that, wait a minute, my guy went across the field. I can't get over there.
Earl Mann. This time there are no flags. And Oakland has a 13-0 lead with 14:02 remaining in the first half. Ray Guy hits it. Waiting for it is Ray Griffin. He takes it at the 3-yard line. And Griffin gets out to the 26-yard line before he goes down in the arms of Harold Hart.
Raymond Chester caught the touchdown pass. I think you know all about him. Great veteran tight end. Originally #1 draft choice by Al Davis for Oakland, and then, as Frank noted, traded to Baltimore and then back here to Oakland. Seems happy. Not just for the touchdown, but generally. Likes being with Oakland.
Mike Ciani also went to Baltimore, and the Raiders also got a second-round draft pick in that transition. On 1st and 10. Dave Turner had a breather on the last series, and he rolls out to the 30-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Willie Hall and Phil Villapiano. 41, Villapiano, 39, Willie Hall, and on the stop.
I must say this. Right now, this game doesn't look very exciting.
Wow.
Which is an understatement.
Wait a minute. Things are getting
But
ready to
we've
open
had
up.
a succession of great games, and we expect another one next Monday night when the Dolphins go against Houston. The Oilers, who seem to play at the level of the opposition. Levels of the game. And the Dolphins with the sophisticated quarterback, Bob Greasy.
That'll give them a pretty good level to play to, because Miami has really been rolling. On 2nd and 6, and again,
Clock ran out.
Clock ran out, expired in the end zone, 30 seconds. That'll mean 5 yards assessed against Cincinnati.
7 on the line. You got to have at least 7. That's what I said.
2nd down and 12. Anderson looking for Brooks.
There it is.
Wide open. First down, midfield. Brooks at the 49-yard line against Lester Hayes, and he was really open.
Now maybe they can get unwound. That's what they needed, to get back into field position.
Well, he had Matusak. There we go, take another look at it. You see Matusak and you see Sistrunk come back in there. They're a little bit late. They got pretty good protection that time, but he's wide open. He really did turn him around. This Brooks has got the speed. He's also got that, I was going to say Lynn Swan kind of moves, but anyway, how about Paul Warfield? Those kind of moves where he kind of floats in and cuts back out. Fluid.
He turned in a remarkable receiver, considering he did not catch that many passes at Oklahoma. As we watch Pete Johnson bowl his way up the middle, close to the 45, a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Now I'd like to see young Turner break one, get Cincinnati going, so we can have the kind of competitive game we look for.
Pete Johnson, this last year, came into tonight with 336 yards. Scored 58 touchdowns at Ohio State for Mr. Hayes. 12:23, and the clock is moving, remaining in the first half. The Raiders leading 13-0. Dave Turner, inside handoff, tries to take it to the outside, and a whole lot of John Matuszek was all over him along with Rod Martin.
Well, at least Kenny's listening. He gave it to Turner.
Yeah, he
Just
is.
didn't break one.
You know, I'm really amazed by your the stat that you mentioned a while ago about Oakland being 24th against the run, because
In terms of number of rushes they've allowed, which means they're not defensing the run well. Last year, they led the league. Fewer rushes against them than anybody, which I think's revealing, Don.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Actually, they're ninth in their conference against the rush, and that for Oakland is unusual. Third down, long 6. Anderson is open. It's Don Bass, and Anderson's right on the money. First down, Cincinnati, 29-yard line of Oakland.
The tight end has been consistently open tonight. We made note of that earlier. Now this play coming right at you,
Well,
Don.
he's a fairly lean-looking 6'2", 218. I think he's a good tight end. I like the way he's making a couple of adjustments to make those receptions. The ball could have been thrown a step or more or two out in front of him, and he could have gone ahead and run on into it. You see him make that decision. He's going down. He's going to catch that ball, keep it on there. I always say, man, I don't care how you do it, just do it. Catch it.
Cincinnati at the 29-yard line of Oakland. Their deepest penetration. Pete Johnson gets the call, and Bulls up close to the 25-yard line, a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Phil Yaw and Mike McCoy in on the stop. You know, Don Bass, I told you about his record out in Houston. He had one game, set a Southwest Conference record against TCU, and he caught 4 touchdown passes. He's a good man.
How about that University of Houston and Longhorn game last week? They set a record for...
What a crowd.
Yeah, the all-time crowd, college or pro.
Second down, 8. Bass in motion. And Anderson throws it low, intended
Phil Yaw
for Isaac Curtis. Curtis being covered by Rod Martin.
He was covered, but he was also free to receive that pass right in the gut. And had it been well thrown, it would have been another first down.
I think we can call that incompletion. We can attribute a great deal of it to Charles Phil Yaw. He is a big one, isn't he?
He is not big. He is huge.
Huge. Yeah, huge is bigger than big.
He is 6'9", 270.
Man, that's huge. That's huge.
That is exact.
In fact, it's frightening to face him.
Third down and 8. McAnally is in, number 87. Single setback. That's Pete Johnson. So in effect, 3 wide receivers in for Anderson.
He got back, though, no flags. Zip.
Wide open, and it's fast.
Go, man, go.
Bass is inside the 5.
All right.
Ball for Cincinnati at the 4.
And Bass continues to be free out there.
How do you like it now?
It was apparent. Much better, Frank. It was apparent the early going that he was being relatively unattended.
Let's see if Mike Davis falls down, and he does.
He's chewing them up right now, and Anderson's confidence is growing. And if they can get it in, we've got the look of a football game.
Yes.
There's Bass, and while he is not the size of a tight end, well, he doesn't have any of the character of a tight end. He put on a move like an outside receiver, and he gives Cincinnati a 1st and goal. Rick Walker and Corbett are in there, 2 tight ends. Walker 88, Corbett 81. Tony Davis is in there in the 3-man set. But Pete Johnson gets the call. Cincinnati on the scoreboard. 10:08 remaining in the first half.
He slipped right by Villapiano. He was trying to cover that outside. Colsey comes over. No way to stop him. He's in there.
And a fine block by the rookie from Georgia, Mike Wilson, who is playing left tackle for Cincinnati. You saw him bury his man. Johnson's strided into the end zone.
And Howard's getting more interested, and I'm glad.
He's about ready to leave for a minute.
Yeah, I know. I like him around up there. I don't want you to go. It's going to get better.
Chris Barr, conversion, Cincinnati. Now it's Pete Johnson. 13-7.
The scoring play was a 4-yard run.
One more look. There's no way Colsey is going to hold on to that man or take him backwards. So the game is tightened. We'll be returning in a moment. The crowd is quiet in Cincinnati with a fine drive. Barr hits it. Will be taken by Whittington at the 2-yard line. This is Harold Hart, brother. All right, and Hart gets out to the 24-yard line. Don Bass is down there. Don Bass doing everything but take tickets tonight.
That's right.
You know, Frank, I've heard a lot, particularly this year, how important management is to the success of a team. I just wonder if anybody notices how much Cincinnati has improved since Howard became their general manager. That was just...
Now, where is that sign? First thing I did was rehire Paul Brown.
Yeah.
I told the quarterback to throw to Bass, and that's it.
You sometimes amaze even me.
First and 10 Oakland, their own 24-yard line. Whittington following Van Egan. He's upended as he gets out over the 25-yard line. A yard and a half. Jim LeClaire submarining and stopping Whittington.
That's really what he did, too, wasn't it, Frank? He slid right in there and cut him off right at the shoe stop.
Well, Stabler's got the job of reigniting his team because at the moment Cincinnati is an aroused team. And you could just see Anderson's confidence growing during the course of that drive.
If you don't have that fumble that Colsey picks up and runs back, what would you have?
You would have a 7-7 game.
No, 7.
No, 7-7. It was the first one that man missed in the wake of the penalty.
On second down 8. Stabler slips. Goes for Casper, and Casper does not hold on near midfield. Being defended there by Marvin Cobb. Let's pause 5 seconds now and allow our stations to identify themselves.
KETV Channel 7, Omaha.
John Madden. He'll always give you a little show on the sidelines. You can see that we have really a fine night for football. He'll talk it over with the officials for you also.
He wanted a call of interference there, but Cobb hit Casper beautifully as the ball was coming into Casper's hands. Rattle a snake. Snake Stabler, of course. That's the nickname.
And if you just joined us, Oakland jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Stabler got himself a 5-yard touchdown pass. He's back. He slipped once again. Fires the Cliff Branch, and it bobbled, does not hold on.
Well, they're not getting close to Stabler back there, though. He's got plenty of time to throw. So that means that defensive secondary must be doing a pretty good job. However, he did have a man open. Frank.
Well, Frank and I were talking to Madden before the game about why Branch wasn't catching more, and he said, simple enough, we've had to go to the tight ends. They've been doubling him game in and game out.
Here's Ray Guy. Not a bad night. Just about average for this man. Here's Dennis Law back at his 25-yard line while Guy is setting up at his 10. Off the side of the foot.
Not going to hurt him. He got a good bounce.
Got a bounce out of it. And it'll be ruled dead inside the 18-yard line. So we have 8:54 remaining in the first half. The game is tightened. The Raiders 13, the Bengals 7. First and 10. Bengals with a big drive under their belt. Have the ball on their own 17, and Anderson is back throwing.
Right there on target. What a move.
And open. No. Rolled out of bounds. Isaac Curtis did not get both feet down in time.
And I was just getting ready to do a real number on Isaac Curtis about how good he was at doing that.
Yeah, but, you know, the call of that play, the throw, you can, as I said, you can just see the confidence growing in Anderson.
You think that Paul Brown's doing a good job then as your new head coach? Look at that. Well thrown. He does do a good job ordinarily. Bringing, wait a minute, just a tippy toe out. What a good call. That's just by a couple of inches.
Second down, 10. Oakland changing their defense. They're being forced to make changes tonight. I told you about them earlier. They'll bring different men in on different situations.
Right there.
Bass has a first down for Cincinnati.
Yes, sir.
Out at the 37-yard line, working against Charles Phillips.
Well, they're going to have to adjust their defenses. That much is clear because that kid's been open all through the first half.
Matuzak, look at here, number 72 coming right in there for Lewitt. But he kept his eye right on Bass coming right across the middle, and that was a nice hole in there. Pick it up. First down and 10 to go.
And they're not covering him with a linebacker. They brought the strong safety back on Bass, and he has 5 receptions already in this half for 74 yards. He's been the spark plug. 84, 16 6'2", a 218-pound rookie from Houston. This is Dave Turner. Dave Turner piled up at the line of scrimmage. Charles Phillips up there to help out from his safety spot. So it'll be 2nd down and 10.
7 minutes, 50 seconds left in the second quarter, and suddenly the Bengals are not only in the game, but they're dominating it.
Trying to hold your interest so you'll stay with us for the second half.
Yeah. Keep throwing the Bass. I'll stay all night.
All right.
Curtis goes left. Billy Brooks is to the right. Bass adjusts over to the right. There he is, number 84. Anderson with some play action, and he has a man open. It was Dave Turner, but he just overthrew.
Really hard pass to throw.
Why?
Well, because you have to, number one, that time you got Hendricks, who's 6'5". You've got to drop it over him, and it's not something you really sit back there and use the muscle or the strength you have in your arm. It's a touch pass. Touch, you know, it just has to drop it. And about 35 yards down the field.
There, by the way, is the Stork, who earlier had been trying to cover Bass, and that's when I commented that Bass was nowhere near Hendricks or vice versa.
Ed Hendricks, 6'7". Matuzak, 6'7". Phil Yaw, 6'9". A lot of tall folks with the Raiders. Anderson looks them over on 3rd and 10. Tony Davis, single setback, number 25.
Look at it.
And he has an open field. And he dives, but I believe he's short of the first down. He's close.
He is close.
He knew exactly where it was, and he could not quite get there. Bass is saying he's got it, but it's going to be very close. Lester Hayes tried to keep him from the first down.
If I'm 1 at 9, if I'm 1-9, right? 1-1, lost 9, playing on Monday Night Football, 4th down, and I don't care, less than a yard. Oh, I got to go for it. If I
agree with you.
Well, of course, I'm not 1 and 9.
I'm not so sure.
No, I'm 14 out of 20.
Inches.
I would go for it. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's sure not going to show up real bad on your record one way or another.
And that's exactly what Homer Rice decides, and he sends McAnally in. Nope, I thought he was bringing a play in, but he's not. Coming in to do the punting.
Oh, Homer, Howard will replace you.
Well, they don't always punt when they set up in a punt formation anymore.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Neil Colsey dropping deep. Of course, Oakland will be alerted to the punt. Running possibilities. There is Colsey back at the 16-yard line. A lot of jockeying around at the line of scrimmage. Oakland is not anticipating a punt. But they're going to get it. And Colsey will take it at the 15-yard line. And down goes Colsey, a hustling bunch of big Bengals at the 23. NCAA college football, a doubleheader coming your way on Saturday live at 12:30 Eastern Time. Dartmouth against Princeton. That's for the Ivy League crown if Dartmouth can win it. Navy with a 7-2 record goes against Florida State. We have Texas A&M against Arkansas, Iowa State against Colorado. And at 4 Eastern Time, USC and UCLA will get with it with the Rose Bowl bid there. Of course, Charles White performing for the Trojans, Heisman candidate with over 1,200 yards. Florida A&M will go against Southern, and Appalachian State against Western Carolina. NCAA college football, a doubleheader this coming Saturday. On 1st and 10, Van Egan gets the call, gets to the 25-yard line, and the Bengals are fired up. Cameron and LeClaire in on that stop. Gain of a half yard out to the 25-yard line.
Philip Villapiano, Jersey lad, Bowling Green his school.
It's thin ankles.
Veteran now. When we first began Monday Night Football, Don, he was a rookie.
9 years then, right?
Right.
Whittington and Van Egan the setbacks. Morris Bradshaw right to the right, but the handoff goes to Whittington. And Whittington is collected there after he gains a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd down now, at about 7.
Not a bad
Good pickup in the 7th round. Probably because of his size, he didn't go higher because he's the 3rd leading rusher in the history of SMU behind a pair of great names, Doak Walker and Kyle Rote.
Rather memorable. The Raiders do miss Davis and Robisky. No question about it. Both out with injuries.
Biletnikoff is in. Stabler going for Branch. Incomplete.
I thought he was going for Casper, Frank.
They were right together. I believe he was going for Cliff.
Under any circumstances, the punt turned out to be the right move.
Well, we don't know because we don't know what the other one would have turned out to be.
Yeah, but this was percentage play. You can't fault it, really.
Well, you can, I think, if you're 1-9 and you're playing at home. These people didn't come out here to see you play percentage football. Man, they want to see you have some fun with it. Go out there and throw. Try to do something. Wonderful.
Whatever you say.
Yeah,
Dennis Laws deep with Tony Davis. Ray Guy will punt for Oakland. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. 13-7 Oakland leads, and look at this by Guy. Hang time on that. Fantastic. Tony Davis knew it. He called for the fair catch at the 25-yard line. That's where Cincinnati will begin. And Ray Guy has really been punching that ball tonight. That one 48 yards.
5 minutes to go in the half.
Anderson with a career passing average of just under 57%. Missed 4 games at the beginning of the year. We told you about that. Broken bone in the passing hand. Pete Johnson using his weight, which is a little over 240 pounds, to advance a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Up till now, Don, I must admit, Oakland's really closed down on the run.
Yeah, they really have, and I don't see anything really breaking open. It seems like they have, they've tried everything. It seems to me, well, not everything. They have tried both sides. 29-yard rushing. They've tried traps. They've tried the power plays. Tried a couple of sweeps.
I don't think they came out here to rush other than keep Oakland honest. Anderson came out intending to pass. On 2nd and 8. The man is open. Is Isaac Curtis. He fumbles the ball, and right there quickly is Pete Johnson. He tried to lateral, I think. Came loose. Pete Johnson was there.
I hope he tried to lateral. I like his attitude.
Monty Jackson is the defender, and look how far he plays off of Isaac Curtis, respecting that great speed.
That was maybe a design play,
I think
Frank.
it might well have been.
But he sure is trying.
Yeah.
He said, would you let go of my arms, Monty?
I think he tried to lateral, decided not to, and then fumbled it. Ball at the 36-yard line, 1st and 10, Cincinnati. And they have really snapped around since the opening moments of the first quarter. Pete Johnson. High steps it around the left corner and gets out to the 43-yard line, getting 6 yards in doing so. It'll be 2nd and 4. Willie Hall over there on the stop. He is going to be a great one. 2nd and 4. Pete Johnson gives it a try. Maybe gets a yard and a half out of that. It's going to be 3rd down along 2.
Since we looked at Browner, I'll never forget talking with Ara Parsegian about Ross. He felt consistently, since Ross was recruited by some of Ara's people when he originally went to Notre Dame, he felt consistently Browner was the best defensive lineman in the country and one of the most intelligent players he had seen in the intercollegiate ranks. And when Parsegian talks, I listen.
They're a great family of those Browners. They got a couple of brothers playing football. He's from Warren, Ohio. He's playing in front of a lot of hometown fans. Well, they mark it at the 43, so it's 3rd down and 3. Anderson wants to put it in the air. Oh, and he attempts to go to Billy Brooks, and if he could have taken 3 more strides, he'd have had a 1st down.
What you say about Parsegian is true. We may have to get him up here with us occasionally.
Nobody likes
He could have picked that. You know, oh, no, he didn't. There he goes. Billy, hold your feet. Frank, is that thing wet down there?
It is indeed wet. It rained here, of course, a little bit yesterday, and this down there earlier, and we've been watching them slip all night long.
Tell them how you know, though, because you got your Adlai Stevenson shoes on, right?
I've got a big hole in the right one.
That's right. That's when folks know that the best dress can have a hole in the bottom of the shoe.
Pat McAnally, Neil Colsey awaits the punt of Cincinnati at the 20.
There's a flag.
Flag is down, and McAnally really
was actually thrown more up there on the.
It's too bad. Too bad. Don't want the Oakland folks to think we're rooting for the Bengals. We just like to have these Monday night games competitive.
No, that was just an unfortunate thing for the offensive team. You very rarely. That was an exceptional kick. If anybody could kick one that far and then have somebody in there covered on about the 1 or the 2, that's an outstanding football play. You like to see outstanding football plays. I'm telling you. I wonder what would happen if that guy had any hair. Do you think we'd ever see him?
Illegal formation. Offense. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
And during the course of McAnally's punt, you call that hang time. The 2-minute warning showed up. McAnally will punt again. It'll be hard for him to be as fortunate as he was on the last one. Colsey for Oakland, waiting at the 20-yard line. And Colsey takes it at the 20. And immediately collides with Blair Bush down around the 27-yard line.
That's what you'd call good coverage. Looked like Washington.
Oh, Blair has good speed. That's one of the things that enabled him to take over that center spot from Johnson. But to snap that ball, they get out of that quick. That's a good job.
Oakland with a 13-7 lead. They have 1:43. They have 3 timeouts. It's going to be interesting to see what Stabler does. He is not in real good field position, but it's not bad at the 27. He puts Bradshaw and Branch, his 2 wide receivers, to the left. The tight end, the ever dangerous Dave Casper, on the top of your screen to the right.
He's going to Casper.
Casper has got it in an open field with it. And Casper out to the 49-yard line.
I just knew he was going to go to Casper that time. Somehow he did.
Stabler with a hurry-up offense. No, they'll bring him back into the huddle.
Casper was you said, Frank, he was in there in that tight end position. The flankers to the left of the field. He goes out to the right flat, then comes back across the middle. Kind of a delayed pattern. He was wide open.
On the 1st and 10.
There he is, right over the middle. And there's a flag down.
Mark Van Egan has the ball, and LeClaire pops Van Egan again, and a flag is down.
We've got 1:05 left in the half.
And it's going to be a holding call against Oakland.
That hurts Kenny. When Kenny is right, nobody is better at using the clock, working it in the final 2 minutes of the half for a ball game. I think one of the greatest performances I ever saw in that regard was in the playoff game against Oakland several years back. Here's the call.
65, offense.
When it wound up with that remarkable pass to Clarence Davis for the winning touchdown over Miami, and Shula doesn't believe it yet.
Well, he's going to have to accept that.
You live with pain.
That's right.
Holding against Mickey Marvin. 1st down, 20. Stabler sidearms it, and it goes out to Whittington. And Whittington gets back close to the original line of scrimmage, out to the 47. Glenn Cameron covering there. Stabler yelling, John, John. He wants probably a personnel change. Now he calls timeout.
47 seconds left.
And he'll have 2 timeouts remaining.
So I think I'm just reporting the facts. Just telling it like it is.
All right, 47 seconds remaining in the half. 13-7. The Raiders over the Bengals.
Way to go, Frank.
2nd down, 12. Phil. And it's Casper. Casper trying to stay close to the sidelines. He does not stop the clock. He gets to the 25-yard line. Dick Sharon made the stop.
So Stabler has done the job.
Another timeout called by Oakland.
He's already got them in field goal position.
They have 1 remaining.
Reggie Williams, number 57, is the guy that's trying to stay with Casper. Good protection to start with. Well thrown. A little bit. Actually, that ball could have been out a little bit more out in front, but Reggie Williams couldn't get there, and there's Casper. He's just running over him.
Casper wished he would have stayed a little closer and killed that clock, because now they're down to 1 timeout. Look what he does. He leans right into Reggie Williams.
Reggie
steps to the outside. If he hadn't slipped, he would have either picked it off or knocked it away.
But he really would, because it was a little bit, it was not really out in front of him, Frank. He caught it, but the ball could have been another step out in front.
There he is. Gets a touchdown just about every 5 times he catches the football. He's far and away the leading receiver in the year this year, and that, of course, explained by Madden. His outside men, Bradshaw and Cliff Branch, being double covered throughout the entire year. Could explain a lot of Kenny's interceptions, too, because you get a lot of them when you throw into the middle, and that's where he's been forced to go to all year long. First and 10, just short of the 25-yard. Casper, touchdown. Casper, touchdown.
Oh, he really did a number on him that time. He had Bo Harris stand there looking at himself along with Ken Riley.
Well, that's the Kenny Stabler of the past few years at his very best. And next to nothing, he drove them downfield for the touchdown with 31 seconds still left on the clock. Look at it here.
Well, he did it in less than 2 minutes.
The move, I think, that got him was a really kind of defensive to go back to the outside, trying to kill the clock. He decided to go for it all on that one bomb, and Casper looked to the outside, made a move there, and straightened it up down the middle.
Earl Mann for the conversion.
Changes the whole look of the game.
Yep, by 7 points.
Let's take one final look at it.
All right, you see he comes out. No, he didn't even go to the outside. They just were playing him out there. You see that Marvin Cobb couldn't get over. He had Ken Riley on the inside. He just split him.
And the Raiders have a 20-7 lead. 30.
Miami's tied with New England for first in the Eastern Division of the AFC. Solid football team, the great quarterback, the great receivers. Gift.
Free guy, busted. It'll be Archie Griffin. And another slip. Griffin tried to move to his outside. Down he went at the 22-yard line.
He was right where second base is here.
That's right. It's the way Petey Rose slides in.
Charlie Hustle.
Cincinnati has the football. They'll be careful with it. Be going into their locker room, trying to get regrouped. Kenny Stabler put on quite a show, moving that ball the length of the football field, less than 2 minutes, using 2 timeouts, and using Casper. Casper, 3 receptions on the night, 75 yards. Anderson wants it. Fires, and it's complete to Isaac Curtis. He's out of bounds, stops the clock out at the 34-yard line with 16 seconds.
Do it 2 more times, and you give you a field goal kicker, Chris Barr, a shot at it.
Curtis goes out to the left, and Billy Brooks is to the right.
Look at that middle. They've got it wide open down there.
Don Bass, the tight end. You see, bottom of your screen, number 84.
There's Don Bass right down the middle.
Isaac Curtis, and Isaac Curtis is brought the ball to midfield, and it's Monty Jackson laying way off Isaac Curtis. He is anticipating that Curtis will try and blow by him, and he respects the speed of number 85.
Well, let's give yardage. There are 11 seconds left. Next one could put them in field goal position and make it 20-10. If.
Candy and nuts.
Yes.
If and buts. Candy and nuts.
All right at midfield. First down, but only 11 seconds for Anderson to work with.
No.
And Anderson goes down.
You throw it over that bench over there.
Toomey in there, Mike McCoy in. And that changes the complexion of it considerably.
Toomey's got it figured out that he may be the highest paid player in professional football. They sent him in as their special rush guy. He says, the way I got it figured, I make about $3,000 a play. So that ain't bad.
No.
Well, if management finds out about it.
That force you into the system. A lot of folks say, okay, I'll take you and I'll build a system around you. I think they do that in Oakland.
5 seconds remaining in the half for Anderson. And picked off. Neil Colsey has the football. And time expires. Kenny Anderson trying to hit Curtis to let him run with the ball. Colsey comes up with the interception. Time expires. And at the end of the half, the Raiders lead the Bengals 20-7. Stay tuned. Halftime highlights coming your way. We'll be right back.